Welcome back to Narrow Path Doctrine. My name is Jim. We're continuing our series here on the Sovereign Lord Who Chooses. We're currently at part 3, and this will be the final part in the series. It's called Zion, the Sanctuary, and the Everlasting Covenant. We've been looking at Psalm 78, and this time around specifically at verses 68 through 69. They say, "But chose the tribe of Judah, the Mount Zion, which he loved, and he built his sanctuary like high palaces, like the earth which he hath established forever." Now in these verses, the Spirit of God shifts our attention from the rejected Ephraim to the chosen Zion, not merely as a geographical location, but as a symbol of God's covenantal election. The Lord's choosing of Zion corresponds perfectly with his refusal of Ephraim. Both acts flow from his eternal decree, one unto honor, the other unto dishonor. The psalmist says he chose the tribe of Judah, the Mount Zion, which he loved. Now, the word loved here is not sentimental in any way. It speaks of covenantal affection rooted in divine purpose. God did not merely foresee that Zion would be faithful. He ordained Zion as the dwelling place of his name, just as he ordained Ephraim to rejection. Now, Psalm 132, 13 through 14 declares the same sovereign truth. It says, "For the Lord hath chosen Zion, he hath desired it for his habitation. This is my rest forever. Here will I dwell, for I have desired it." Notice that God's choice is absolute here. He hath chosen, he hath desired, here will I dwell. His will determines all things, from the eternal salvation of his elect to the everlasting ruin of the reprobate. The choosing of Zion and the rejection of Ephraim reveal that the distinction between mercy and judgment rests wholly on God's good pleasure. Consider Matthew 11:26 that says, "Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight." Verse 69 continues, it says, "And he built his sanctuary like high palaces, like the earth which he hath established forever." The sanctuary was the visible sign of God's presence with his elect. It was he who built it, not man. Even Solomon, though the earthly builder, was but an instrument. The divine He underscores that God himself is the architect of his dwelling, both in type, the temple, and in fulfillment, Christ and his church. Just as the earth was established forever by his decree, so his sanctuary, representing the covenant people, is eternally secure. The sanctuary, like creation, exists because God willed it into being. In this we see the eternal contrast. While Ephraim's tabernacle fades, Zion's sanctuary abides forever. The elect are established by the same unchanging decree that sustains the universe, whereas the reprobate, though they may appear strong for a season, are ordained to perish in judgment. Psalm 125, 1 through 2 affirms this permanence. It says, "They that trust in the Lord shall be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed, but abideth forever. As the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so the Lord is round about his people from henceforth, even forever." The elect, represented by Zion, are upheld by the immutable counsel of God. Their standing is as firm as the creation itself, for both exist by his decree. In the choice of Zion and the building of the sanctuary, the psalmist is foreshadowing the everlasting covenant fulfilled in Christ. God's love for Zion finds its ultimate expression in his Son, the true dwelling place of his glory. "And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us." John 1:14. Christ is both the foundation and fulfillment of the sanctuary. Through him, God dwells with his people eternally, and through him, the covenant of grace stands immovable. Those united to Christ by sovereign election are as secure as Mount Zion itself, for he is the living temple, the everlasting priest, and the unchangeable King. Ephesians 1, 4 through 5 declares, "According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will." This eternal choice in Christ reveals that the rejection of Ephraim and the choosing of Zion were shadows of a deeper decree. the dividing line between the elect and the reprobate. Both serve God's purpose, the elect to magnify his mercy and the reprobate to magnify his justice. As Paul writes in Romans 9:22 through 23, where he says, "What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory." Here is the ultimate interpretation of Psalm 78. God's choice of Zion, vessels of mercy, and his rejection of Ephraim, vessels of wrath, are twin acts of divine sovereignty that reveal his entire glory: wrath and mercy, justice and grace, power and love. He actively hardens and actively redeems. Both are acts of his will, both ordained for his name's sake. So to bring our series to a conclusion here, Psalm 78, 67 through 70 teaches not merely about Israel's history, but about the eternal decree of God. He refused Ephraim and chose Judah. He rejected one tabernacle and built his own sanctuary. He left the reprobate to judgment and established his elect forever. In this divine drama, God's sovereignty is absolute, his purpose immutable, and his glory complete. Zion stands forever as the emblem of God's electing love, while Ephraim remains the emblem of his righteous reprobation. Both proclaim the same eternal truth, that God does all things according to the counsel of his own will for his glory alone. All right, thank you so much for joining me for this series. If you did enjoy it and you'd like to see more series like this, maybe comment down below and let me know. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up, share it with others, and if you have not subscribed to the channel as of yet, be sure to do so and click the notification bell to get updates when new videos like this one come out. So until next time, remember, true doctrine matters. God bless.
You chose your sheep, not one would be lost. Christ paid the price, no one could count the cost. Why me, oh Lord, why me?